It was a rumor that led to a brutal killing. One man killed and 3 others stabbed inside a train in Tughlakabad. The quarrel, the argument, started over seat sharing, but then accusation that Junaid, the man who was lynched, that he was carrying beef started. Amidst this, the victims claim that the police remained mute spectators. 24 hours have passed nearly of the incident and no arrests have been made. A crowd of 20 became a mob and lynched Junaid and beat his relative very badly. All of this in an atmosphere which is vitiated with a sense of bloodlust. A young man lynched to death. His blood-soaked body lying on the Ballabhgarh railway station in Haryana. This was the fate of Junaid. He had gone for Eid shopping. While returning on a passenger train between Delhi-Ballabhgarh, those shopping bags he carried proved fatal. The crowds around him and his relatives viewed them with suspicion. A heated argument over seats took a fatalistic turn. The crowd of 20 turned into a mob, accusing Junaid of carrying beef. Other loaded communal slurs were exchanged.
तो हम बैठे थे तो सीट के ऊपर रहते 2-15 लड़के आए थे तो उसके ऊपर लड़ाई करते हम हमारे बहुत समस्या
सर 4 लड़के थे ये गांव खंडावली के थे ये सर सामान लेने के लिए सदर बाजार गए थे तो सीट को लेकर के विवाद हुआ था विवाद बढ़ता चला आया अभी कोई गिरफ्तारी नहीं
कोई आइडेंटिफिकेशन हुई है कौन है वो कोई जांच हुई है पता चला है कि कौन है कोई पहचान हुई है
नहीं अभी कोई पहचान नहीं हुई है
देखिए यही वो जगह है जहां पर
The mob, baying for blood, brutally beat up Junaid and his relatives, slashed them with knives and later threw them out of the train. The mob once again melted into a crowd, with no arrests been made yet. 23rd June 2017, Junaid dead, but not the first casualty in a season of bloodlust. Barmer, 12th June 2017. The mob attacks the staff and official of the Tamil Nadu Government Husbandry Department on suspicions of cattle smuggling. Rajora, Maharashtra, May 26, 2017. 3 youth thrashed on suspicion of cattle trading. Alwar, 1st April 2017. 55-year-old dairy farmer Pehlu Khan lynched to death in Alwar on suspicion of cow smuggling. Saraikela, Jharkhand, May 19, 2017. 3 cattle traders lynched to death on suspicions of child lifting. Una, Gujarat, July 11, 2016. 4 Dalit youth thrashed on suspicions of cattle trading. Dadri, Uttar Pradesh, 28 September 2015. Mohammad Akhlaq lynched to death by a mob on suspicions of storing beef. Few instances of many. An atmosphere vitiated in a season of intolerance, where a crowd feels there is social, moral, legal legitimacy to a mob. The smallest of indiscretions could get you killed, where a lynching is clearly more than murder, demanding an audience, with most looking the other way, if not participating or making videos. Bureau Report, India Today. All right, my colleague Anandya Banerjee is joining me live on this story. Anandya, it's been nearly 24 hours that this incident took place. Why is it that of the 20 men who lynched Junaid, not one has been arrested?
Well, you're right, Preeti. There is not even one person who has been not only arrested, but not even identified that who there can be, what we are given to understand by sources within the police. But the reason, the primary problem that the police is facing at this point of time is that it happened in a train and they don't know. And as it happens, mobs don't have identity. That is what the police is saying, but that cannot be an excuse. So what police is doing is that they're scanning through the CCTV footage in different railway stations, particularly in Mathura, as well as in Tughlakabad. These are the two things that the police is doing at this point of time. Another thing the police is doing, that is regular commuters. Who are the regular commuters in that route? Those things that they are zeroing in at this point of time. But the problem, Preeti, as far as investigation there is concerned, what cops are facing is that it not only is divided in different jurisdictions, not only Uttar Pradesh, Delhi and Haryana are involved, but also the RPF is involved. So those things are also taken into consideration. But the bigger question is not what is about jurisdiction or whether a person is arrested or not. The bigger question is a person is being lynched to death, and that too on the suspicion of eating beef, and that too at a stone's throw distance from the national capital where we are standing right now. So that is absolutely not only shocking but inhuman, and it has political connotations to it as well. We have the CPIM delegation, top CPIM leaders going and meeting the victims, and they themselves are also demanding action and holding the BJP and the RSS to RSS accountable. So very clearly what started off as a communal incident has clearly turned over the last 24 hours as a political incident, and now it is going to be more and more political till the time any arrests take place and the guilty are held to are brought to book.
All right, Anandya, thank you for joining us with that update there. As Anandya pointed out, there were 20 in that mob who lynched Junaid. Not one arrest has been made till now. And one of the main reasons is because the mob quickly melted into a crowd. Questions need to be asked at this point of time. Why? That 24 hours have passed. After the incident, still no arrest has taken place. And at a time where there is an atmosphere which is vitiated with what we see, do mobs feel they have social, moral and even legal legitimacy to do what they do? Has a weak administrative response emboldened mobs? This is not the first incident. It's one of many that we have seen over the last few years, only increasing. And with what seems to have been a weak administrative response, has that emboldened mobs? All right, the latest news break coming in on this story. Clearly, as Anandya was also pointing out, politics is now rife. Brinda Karat has gone ahead and met the survivors of this lynching incident. Let's remind you, there were 5 people on board. Junaid was lynched to death. However, one of his relatives is badly injured. And these visuals coming in of Brinda Karat, who has gone to meet that relative of Junaid. All right, we have Dr. Rizwan, who's joining us. He is a social scientist and an intellectual at that. Mr. Rizwan, why do you think these cases continue to happen? In this case, Junaid, it all started off with an argument over a seat and quickly turned fatalistic, where he was accused of carrying beef and then lynched to death.
Preeti, it is said in the Quran that killing of innocent is killing of the entire humanity. This is wanton display of aggression. But you see, this is a species, and with all the responsibility and wisdom and courage and maturity which I can muster and command, you will be surprised, you won't agree with me. As a socio-religious student, I consider it a very minor incident, a minute incident, a killing of an innocent, a single individual because of intolerance in our country. See, as I told you, this is a species. We have to look at the genus. The genus is intolerance. We might say about ahimsa and all, but our DNA, the Indian DNA, we are basically intolerant. And as a student, if you have introduced me as a social scientist, if we are talking about this lynching, let's talk about the genus. What happened in 1947? An intolerance of a community tore this nation apart.
Okay.
What happened in 1984? Sitting over here, I wrote these things. Give me 2 minutes. What happened in 1984? Intolerance of the majority community lynched 3,600 Sikhs, the community which has taken nothing from India but has only given. What about the intolerance of Kashmiri Pandits who were kicked out of Kashmir and are living in ghettos in Delhi and in Jammu? What about the intolerance which we saw after Mandal? Nobody went against the Mandal Commission to Supreme Court. We took the streets, we took rioting, we took self-immolation. What happened in Mandir issue? Today the BJP is saying that we will go to the Supreme Court. Was the Supreme Court not there in 1991?
Okay.
No, let me complete. Let me hit on the genus part. We always see, whenever we talk about intolerance, everything is attributed to last 3 years and directly it is attributed to Narendra Modi. It is not the case. I tell with all the wisdom which I can muster and command that intolerance in our country is on a fall. It is not on a rise.
Okay.
It is only because of social media and proactive media that such incidents come to our notice.
Okay.
In the name of cow, Preeti, this country has seen 100 riots.
All right.
In name of pork, this country has seen 100 riots.
All right,
So
all right, Mr. Ahmed. Let me also introduce at this point of time Dr. Mala Kapoor Shankar Das. She's a development social scientist. You know, Dr. Mala, what do you think is happening right now? Is it that somewhere down the line, mobs today feel that they have social, legal, moral sanctity to continue to do what they do, or aided by an administration which at least seems to be not acting enough?
Yes, I totally agree that we need more political voice against this kind of happenings. These are happening very frequently and we need to stop this. The intolerance which we are seeing is not to be accepted, and people should have the right to eat what they want to. They should have their preferences, and nobody has the right to stop them. So the political voice has to be very strong on these kind of malpractices, and there has to be perpetrators have to be stopped and stern action taken against them, so that there is fear. Next time if somebody tries to stop, they should feel scared of action which might be taken against them. So I think
you know, the question is, it's not, most of these cases, they were doing nothing. It's not that beef was found in them. They were doing absolutely nothing. It was a crowd which materialized into a mob. And then, of course, we have cases like Junaid, which would happen today.
Sure. I know these are innocent people who don't know what's is in store for them. And all of a sudden they are attacked. And that's where government has to be very strong and come politically with a strong voice that they will not tolerate this kind of behavior.
So Dr. Mala, you're saying the government is not doing enough?
Everybody has the right.
So the government has fostered this. That's what you're saying?
I think they are not strongly voicing their concern against this kind of intolerance.
All right. Dr. Rizwan, you want to come in? Yes. Yes, Dr. Rizwan, go ahead.
Dr. Mala said, a small rebuttal, Dr. Mala said that we have the right to eat. I, with all my responsibility, I want to rebut this. We are in a pluralistic society. We are in a secular nation. I don't buy the argument that in India we have the right to eat. No. We have to be compatible and conducive with the other community. In India, we cannot say we have the right to eat. Let me ask, if there is a Muslim locality, I am myself a Muslim. Right now I am on fast. If there is a Muslim community, if there is a Muslim ghetto or an area where Muslims are in majority, can you have a pork shop there? Can you have a pork shop there? Can you hang pork there? I assure you that the person who will open the pork shop will be lynched in half an hour of opening the shop. So I don't buy this argument of pseudo-intellectuality that in India we can eat anything. No. In India, we have to respect the religious sentiments of each other, and we have to bow in front of each other.
But this debate is something very different. It's not about the right to eat. It's not about anything on that front.
Am I rebutting that she opened
our There's been a series of incidents. Junaid is not one example. He's one of many that have happened over the last few months, where a crowd feels emboldened to take a form of a mob and feel that they have moral, legal, social sanctity to actually lynch somebody to death. Junaid, the classic example of that. 24 hours have passed and no arrest made till now.